All right, well, it's about almost 9:15, and so far this morning, we really don't have much. I've probably said that a lot recently, but BRQS, it's up 19%, blah, 16 million share float, super choppy, lost 400 on it, whatever. VRME popped up below VWAP, below the 200. It actually failed at the 200. It hit the 200 and then came off that level. You know, it's just, we don't have really anything moving. So I'm down 123 bucks right now, and just kind of sitting and waiting to see if we have anything that actually starts to move. But it is Friday going into a long weekend. Markets closed on Monday for the 4th of July. So, you know, this may be it. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes, you know, the Friday before, I mean, I would say this kind of Friday before a long weekend is sort of a wild card day. Probably there'll be nothing, but sometimes you end up having some surprise volatility. So it's not impossible. And that's kind of the only reason to stick around, is just in case something starts to pop up and starts to squeeze, because right now there's a lack of anything that's obvious. So if traders see something that becomes obvious, those who are still here will probably jump on it and be fairly aggressive. So we'll see. So we've got 15 minutes to the opening bell. I'm gonna do a June month in review a little bit later. Go over where I finished the month of June. Set some goals for July, but right now, just kind of, you know, I mean, this is just sort of almost like the last day of June in a way. I mean, it's just like last day of the week. It is the first day of July, but you know, it kind of just feels like the last day of the week, last day of the month. Very slow right now. Overall market, well, you could see how we sold off yesterday, but then we kind of rallied off the sell-off at 10 a.m. You know, pretty nicely. So on the daily chart, we ended up forming a doji. I thought we might sell all the way down to 362, but we didn't. So kind of hanging out here, a little mid-range. Not really sure exactly what to think about that. It's still bearish, but that's our current range right now. 362 to 393. Pretty big range. Revlon, yeah, I've seen it. I don't have any interest in it. I'm just not interested in this stock. So leaving that one alone. PGY. Looks good. Yeah. All right. About 12 minutes to the opening bell. BRQS, as you can see, is a somewhat recent reverse split. These ones in the past have been good, but this one already is stacked up on the sell side. Third leading gapper. Leading gapper QNRX. This one is up 87%. Cheaper stock. Not sure if it really gets going. NLIT, SPAC. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything really to watch there. I mean, could you get a little dead cat bounce on it? Maybe, but your liquidity is not going to be very good. I don't think a lot of traders are really going to be watching it. Yesterday, you got that, you know, kind of crazy, almost 200% squeeze, but then kind of right back down. Daily chart is weird. Yeah, BRQS got crowded pretty quickly. PGY, big spread on it right now. It looks like it's also a SPAC priced at 10. So it's down below its $10 pricing. You may have people that buy it up. High was $5.97 this morning. High back there was $5.30. Bigger spreads though creates a bit more risk on it. Float. I do see that that's a big number. I have to double check that. Consisting of an aggregate of 45 million shares, Class A. Huh. I don't know. AGRX. Yep, selling off. Price $24 million offering. So we have about 8 minutes to the open right now, and you know, as we stand, yeah, it's a bit slow. So we'll see what ends up moving as we get closer to the bell and as we get into the opening range. AGRX, it means they're the news they're selling more shares, so diluting the value of the stock. VRME has a little bit of a curling. I see a seller at 70, only a 1 cent spread right now. VWAP is 86. If this gets back over 80, back up to 3 could be nice. Still some selling on it. Might not be ready. It's our second leading gapper at 37%. Yeah, VWAP is 80 on the 5 minute. That's probably correct. So you can see the 13,000 share seller at 70. It's always a little risky to buy below VWAP. Usually offset that risk with smaller size. So we've got about 6 minutes to the open. So you see some buy orders going, so added there at 70. That's as it pops up there, we look for the move to 75, and you know, it's like a couple $100. It's just small stuff. So in and out on that little break, and then the new order goes at 80. It's kind of like, you know, reading the tape and seeing that seller get bought up at 70. I thought it might have gone up a little higher, but we still are under VWAP, so resistance there. But if we can break through it, I'll leave an order at 85. This was a $60 winner. Just goes to show how slow it is. 4 minutes to the opening bell. Yeah, generally speaking, simulators will always fill faster than a broker because you don't have slippage, right? You fill and you're in. You could be in with 100,000 shares, no slippage. Okay, so your fills will be a little bit more generous, which is why it's a good idea to trade with smaller share size. But on the other hand, for practicing hotkeys, for quick entries, the price you get in at will be current market price. I mean, you're not going to get in at, you're not being given any price different from current market price. So if you're trading with 1,000 shares, which would be a position size that you probably wouldn't really have a lot of slippage, then you feel fairly confident that you're getting a good sense of how your strategy would be with real money. You know, there'd be some things like if you're selling on the ask always, you may not get filled on the ask with real money, but you would in a sim. You know, things like that. So if you buy the ask and sell the bid in the simulator, that's going to be fairly realistic as long as you're keeping share size small. If you know, but like I said, if you go big on share size, you start trading with 30, 40,000 shares in the simulator, then the simulator can't replicate the slippage issues that you'd have. So that's a little bit of a problem. So for those tuning in on YouTube, thank you guys for being here for the morning show. Slow morning so far, but you know, some days are like that. This has been a kind of an interesting, you know, last couple weeks. It's been a little slower, but you know, trading through the bear market, getting through it, and making some money. So I'm grateful for that. I'll do a June month in review where I'll talk about kind of where I'm sitting on the well, on that month and where I'm sitting on the year. And I'll be back at it on Tuesday morning. 4th of July sales are underway right now. So for those that want to become a member over at Warrior, or Warrior members who want to renew their membership, this is a great time to do it. So you're welcome to, right from your members dashboard, you can see a button. I think it's actually called renewals. Let me just check. Renewal information right here. So for all Warrior members, you can check right there and that'll show you a renewal, but you can also email us if you do have questions. All right, so I hope everyone has an awesome holiday weekend. We've got 3 seconds to the open, and let's just see what is happening at the open here. So generally on something like VRME, I'd be cautious buying into a VWAP test at the open, because these often are walls, run into it, and then we roll over. Needs to prove itself pretty big time. We've got our scanners running, so this is the radar that's helping us find stocks to trade. It's still early. I'm down $57, like whatever, it doesn't matter. That's like a cup of coffee, right? I don't know. So just kind of, you know, sitting flat here more or less, and our high is 281. All right, those on YouTube, I'll be back a little bit later for June month in review, so I'll see you then. Reminder, as always, in case you already know, trading is risky, my results are not typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success. So take it slow. I'll see you on Tuesday.